Hello, lovely people. It's been a while since we've heard that introduction, but we are back. MMA from London to LA, joined by the MMA professor, the one, the only, double C, Colin Crandall. And my name is Callum Sanderson, and we are delighted to be back this International Fight Week, UFC 303, not the card or the main event that everyone expected a couple of weeks ago. However, what a main event we have, a rematch between the samurai Jiri Prohaska and the almost immortal Alex Portan Pereira. Colin, how are you doing, my bro?
Doing great, my bro. Always glad to work with you, Callum. Like I say, this man, Callum Sanderson, has the wrestling skills of Cale Sanderson. He has the European football, soccer skills of Ronaldo. Better looking than the biggest movie star and knows MMA 10 times better than any of us will ever learn and know in our entire life. So, Callum Sanderson, so great to see you here, bro. And pleasure to be back. MMA from London to LA. We'll be back more regularly here during the summer, guys. We're going to put out some great content. And for now, we've got a short one. Frequently, we go 45 minutes, even an hour or more. We're going to kind of keep an eye on how long we go, but this will be a shorter one than normal right now. But let's, I'm anxious to chop this up, Callum. We have the main event that was going to be Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler. And then we know that Conor pulled out of his first fight there with an injury. And now we have Alex Pereira Poatan against Jiri Prohaska. And let's go. We're going to go over just two fights here and kind of flesh them out. The main, and then we're going to skip the co-main, but we're going to go to Ian Garry versus Michael Page. It's funny, a lot of people around the world might think this is a battle of UK fighters, but Ian Garry is indeed a fighter from Ireland, and he is from the Republic of Ireland, which is not the United Kingdom. So we have a UK versus Ireland matchup here. Ian Garry, the future, is 26 years old, and MVP Michael Venom Page, 37 years old. A shame he didn't come over to the UFC 5 years ago or even 10 years ago. You know what I mean? It would have been interesting to see where he would have been in that journey. I think he would have done quite well. Perhaps not all the way to the title, but maybe, you never know, right? But he is nevertheless really excited here to get his career going. Great record, 22-2, with his only losses being a very close loss 2 years ago, split decision to Logan Storley, and then he did get caught by Douglas Lima, a fight that he did avenge 2 years later. So
I was at that Storley fight. I was actually at that fight. I was at Wembley for that.
Who did you feel won that one? Was it really, really close? Do you feel?
So me personally, I gave it to MVP, but I knew Storley was gonna win it because he just took him down and just sort of laid on him, and MVP couldn't really get back up. But Storley didn't land anything, didn't do any damage. It literally was just a case of, I'll take you down and I'll hold you down. I knew who'd get the result.
Yeah, understood. It's unfortunate, but true. Let's look at some level of competition here in the past. Michael Venom Page MVP just beat Kevin Holland. Before that, in Bellator, he beat Goiti Yamauchi. Did fight really close, split loss to Logan Storley. As mentioned, he did split two fights with the very, very formidable Douglas Lima. He did then have a win over Paul Daly 5 years ago. But some of the other fighters, not necessarily the absolute highest level. Derek Anderson, a tough guy, for sure, and so that was legit. And so let's take a look at the fighters that his opponent has fought, though, because he's not really done much better. But for him, it's because he just hasn't been in the game long enough. So he beat a bunch of people nobody heard of. Oh well. You may have heard of in England in Cage Warriors. He beat people. He beat a bunch of people that British fight fans probably have heard of, but nobody else. And then he came over and has beaten Gabriel Green in the UFC. He's on a hell of a streak: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight wins in the UFC.
Beating a lot.
What's that?
He's fought very regularly in the UFC. That's one thing
he has. Yeah. Sorry, indeed. Sorry to step on your words. Yeah, he has. He's been quite active. And his wins have come by finish versus Jordan Williams, decision over Darian Weeks, decision over Gabriel Green, stopping Song Kenan, stopping D-Rod, Daniel Rodriguez.
That's a good win.
Yeah, that was a good win. Beating Neil Magny, and then a very close fight against Jeff Neal, and Neal is a tough guy. So I suppose you could say the amount of really good fighters they fought are similar. Perhaps maybe you could even say Garry has fought more good fighters. Although some of the guys that Page has fought, I mean, Douglas Lima was absolutely a beast back in then.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
was gonna say I don't think Gary's got anyone on his record as good as Lima or Paul Daly, if I'm gonna be honest.
yeah, I agree. I do agree. So curious to see what the odds makers have this. Here's what I believe. I believe the odds makers are going to have Garry a bit of a favorite here. Let's take a look here. And I think he should be just slightly. And where are we here? And 303, and yeah, just a slight favorite for Ian Garry, 1.5 to 1. So here's the thing. Garry is what, a black belt or a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? I think one of the two.
I don't even know if he is. I know he's now moved to shooter box in Brazil.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
I think he's pretty much there permanently now. I know his wife's Brazilian as well, so
right.
I'm sure she's got family out there, and I think he trains there permanently now. So he might be starting to do more jiu-jitsu. Obviously, Oliveira, for example, is like creme de la creme when it comes to jiu-jitsu. So if he's not doing jiu-jitsu and he's neglecting that, then it'd be very weird, especially with so many killers at gym as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, MVP has, I don't think, shot for more than 1-2 takedowns in his career, and I don't think he's tried more than 1 or 2 submissions in his career.
Yeah.
So you would think that perhaps Garry is the more balanced fighter, but I don't love betting on these younger fighters. Remember, I kind of fade fighters that are under 26, but Garry is 26, so he's right at that level that yeah. So I think this should be a very interesting fight. Obviously, there's more urgency on the side of MVP being 11 years older. MVP really can't afford to be derailed here. Perhaps once, but if he's derailed twice, then that's the end of it, I feel. And I'm sure, right, even derailing him once would be quite devastating. Garry has a lot of time, but he doesn't want to be. Obviously, no one wants to lose, but I think he knows that a win over MVP, his next win should be a ranked opponent. And so this is a very important fight for both men, and it's going to be interesting to see how they react. I don't know how to call this one. I think it's going to be really exciting. I cheer for the older fighter, so I'll cheer for your Brit MVP because he's exciting and he doesn't have many years left in his career, whereas Garry could be fighting for 15 more years. So I'm going to cheer for MVP, but MVP better have a damn solid, not only takedown game, but he better have a really good get up game. He should be practicing his get ups because he very well might be taken down, and then he's got to get off the ground quick. But this is an exciting fight, and I think this should be the co-main instead of Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez.
I agree.
But yeah, my thought is I'm leaning toward the slight underdog here in MVP, but not with a lot of confidence. What do you think?
So I actually think it will be quite a boring fight because I think both fighters are fighters that prefer the opposition to come forward, and they usually counter strike. I'll be interested to see who actually leads the dance in this fight because I can't imagine either one will want to voluntarily lead the dance and be the aggressor. I think Ian Garry, if he's gonna get the win here, I don't necessarily know if he has to lean on takedowns. I think he has to lean on leg kicks. He did very well against Neil Magny with his low leg kicks. If you can slow down or stop the movement of MVP, then I think it makes him a lot easier puzzle to figure out. If you can't stop MVP or you can't figure out that puzzle within the first couple of minutes, and you're done. We saw that with Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland's fought a who's who. After the first round, I think Kevin Holland in his heart knew that he weren't going to win on that night because he just had never seen anything like MVP before. So I'm going to lean towards an MVP win. I think he's got more power. I think he's got more tricks. But I do think Garry does the basics better, but I think MVP will get it done.
Sounds good. Do you think MVP would have any chance against Leon Edwards if he wins this fight? Is MVP Jamaican Brit like Leon and yourself?
Or no, I think MVP's Nigerian heritage. I think.
Okay.
The thing is, it's a really hard fight because again, I've been around MVP with for work and stuff like that. And I kid you not, he's the most respectful, humble person you'll be around. I
That's
know
cool.
he does the theatrics and stuff, but he's not. He's such a humble, like very reserved person in when you meet him and
That's
you're around
cool.
him. And I've got friends who have been around Leon and say the same thing about Leon, how nice he is of a person. So on one hand, I want to see the fight, but on the other, I don't, because
Right.
I
Yep.
admire both guys. I'd
Yeah.
rather see like Leon win, like then move up to 85, win the 85-pound belt, and then MVP win the 70-pound belt.
Yep.
But I think they're on a collision course regardless. Because even
Yeah.
if Leon loses his next bout, I
Right.
think the fight to make is still him versus MVP.
Yeah, can you imagine if they have that in England? That would blow the
Oh,
roof off of the
it'd be
O2, pretty much,
huge.
wouldn't it?
It'd be
Yeah.
huge. Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
huge. And if Aspinall's still champion and Aspinall's on the card or Pimlet, it would do
Yeah,
wonders.
it'd be insane, man. The
It'd be
buzz would be
crazy.
MVP. MMA will have finally 100% arrived in England. I think if those things
Yeah,
happen, yeah,
definitely.
absolutely. Well, let's go to the next one. The main event is going to be Alex Pereira against Jiri Prochazka. Battle of a fight that happened, I think, not even 1 full year ago. This fight happened. Let me see. I think what this was in. It was no, it was it was not quite 1 full year ago. November 11th of last year, and I felt it was an early stoppage for Alex Pereira, and nonetheless, it was a stoppage. Since then, Alex fought Jamal Hill. It'll only be about a not even a 3-month turnaround, 2.5 month turnaround since the Hill fight. Prochazka, since the loss to Alex Pereira, did come and fight on that same card actually, as Alex, where he beat Alexander Rakic. So this is an interesting one. They're going to have Poatan a favorite here, but not really big, and that's good.
Yeah.
So it's almost a similar odds to the MVP versus Garry fight. Why don't you go first on this one and hear your thoughts, and then I'll
Yeah.
follow.
So in the first fight, I think Yuri was winning the fight. And I think apart from obviously Izzy knocking him out, I think Yuri showed that Alex was almost human. You can get to him, you can ruffle him a bit, you can rough him up a little bit as well. But Poatan just has that equalizer. He almost reminds me of Deontay Wilder with his Deontay Wilder's right hand. The only difference is obviously Pereira's got so much more to his game than just the overhand right. But that left hook is dynamite. He hits people with it, and he doesn't even swing it really like from the waist or from the hip. Or with Izzy opens up his chest when he throws the left hook, so you can understand the power he generates. Pereira literally just from the shoulder, he just throws the left hook and he's flatlining people. So, and you saw in the Rakic fight, Yuri got touched up quite a lot by Rakic, but Yuri's will to win is what makes him dangerous in this fight for me. And the fact that, for me, if you're going to fight someone like Pereira, you have to be crazy enough to want to be in the fire. And Jiri Prochazka is absolutely that guy who said, yeah, I'll walk through the fire barefoot and I'll come out the other side ice cold. And I think for that reason, this may be Pereira's toughest fight. Plus the short turnaround. We know he's got the 2 broken toes as well. Has he been able to train as hard as he normally trains? Will he be able to throw the leg kick like he usually throws it as well? I think this match could actually favor Prochazka.
Love it. I'm with Prochazka as well. I was with Prochazka on the first fight. I felt it was stopped too soon because he was looking quite good.
I agree.
Yeah, and I'm with this one. Hopefully they don't have the same referee. There's been a little bit of a trend of fights being stopped a bit too early lately, and I understand that too early is better than too late. Not, of course, for the entertainment of the fans who just want to see blood and guts, but
or
for
the fighter.
Right, or the fighter that stopped too early. But for fighter safety, it's better that if we're forced to see any negative trend, it's better that we see a trend of fights being stopped too early than too late, where fighters are getting unnecessarily damaged and injured. But still, very unsatisfying for certain. So hopefully that's not going to be the case here. But yeah, Prochazka, I think, got to change his strategy a little bit. Obviously, the more polished striker and experienced kickboxer is Poatan. He's super confident. Jiri really should hopefully have been training some more grappling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and the funny thing is, in a fight like this, you got all kinds of people that are going to say, no, Yuri's not going to grapple. He's just going to do blah blah blah, and then he grapples. and he
Yeah.
should grapple. So
He
I think he
should. He
will.
definitely
Yeah,
should.
yeah. It's not. There's no reason to be a dummy here, and it doesn't mean he's going to turn into a Cale Sanderson, an homage
Yeah.
to your last name, overnight. But he's going to be. He could definitely be improved, and I think this fight's a full camp for both men. So I think they've had a couple months notice here. So yeah, I think this is a very big fight for Jiri, and I think Jiri can take the title here. And then I think, unlike Poatan, who is sitting there thinking about going to heavyweight, maybe he will possibly, I don't know. But I think Jiri is not going to have any concern of going to heavyweight. And I think Jiri will be very happy to try to start racking up some title defenses. He's younger. He's 5 years younger here.
Yeah.
And, at some point, Poatan will lose a step, although at 36 in this one of the heavier weight classes, light heavyweight, is not necessarily that old. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Poatan, I respect him. I don't know why. I don't feel he's going to keep on beating everybody. But I also do feel that my mates in England would say, we needn't have the referee try to assist in that goal for
Yeah.
Poatan to keep on winning. We you know what I mean? Just leave it,
Yeah.
leave it to the fighters. We know the promotion loves Poatan, but let's not help him win these fights.
Yeah.
So I think Jiri, it's going to be exciting. You think the fight goes to a decision or ends or
No.
before then inside the distance, right?
I don't think it goes to a decision. Because even if Alex is losing, let's say he's losing going into the 5th round, Alex is just gonna just hunt, and if he's hunting, either one of two things gonna happen: either he's gonna stop Jiri, or Yuri's gonna catch him something can stop him. So
Indeed.
Pereira is the sort of fighter who's gonna go out on his shield, and I think perhaps because the exact same as well.
Absolutely.
So
Yep, sorry to step on your words, but listen to their finish rates. Jiri has 29 finishes out of 30 victories for a 97% finish rate. Yeah, 26 KOs and 3 submissions. Alex has an 80% finish rate, 8 finishes out of 10 wins. But also the statistic there is also interesting that far fewer fights for Alex, but then Alex had a good deal of kickboxing fights as well.
Yeah.
And he's the older fighter. But yeah, you're right about that. And there's probably no money to be made to bet this fight doesn't go the
Probably not.
distance.
No.
You know what I mean? So, definitely. But when was the last time? What do you call him? Jiri went the distance. No, Alex went the distance with Blachowicz. And the last time
Yeah.
Jiri went the distance was against Jiri hasn't gone. Wow, there we go. Jiri went
It
the
would have been in
distance.
Rising, right?
8 years ago in Rising. Yep.
Yeah, that's
wow.
crazy.
Yeah, it's like 12, 14 fights with the finishes.
Because he's only been 5 rounds once, and that was against it's only been past 3 rounds once. That was against Teixeira.
Teixeira, yes, exactly.
Because he stopped Volkan Oezdemir, I think, round 1 or round 2. Dominic Reyes, I think, was round 1 or 2.
Right. He went in
and
Ryzen.
then Rakic was round 2.
Right, 3 rounds he went against King Mo Lawal in Ryzen. But other than that, yeah, it's been 5 rounds, 2 rounds, or 1 round. Yeah. Well, then, someone also years ago, he went in 2014. But yeah, these men are going to be going after it, and it's going to be very exciting to see. And yeah, I think we've got Prochazka. And I'll tell you what, I have a feeling late money is going to come in on Poatan. So those of you who want to bet Prochazka, perhaps wait a little bit, and you should even get better odds. But yeah, Jiri's a warrior, and it's it's interesting how he took that last early stoppage. Quite a gentleman, no protesting.
Yeah.
But I think that's consistent with his warrior spirit. And he's a martial artist. He's a true martial artist. I mean, perhaps some people would have liked to have seen him protest and say, come on, what the hell is this? But I think his mindset is that, I'm a martial artist, I'm a warrior, I go by the rules, I don't cry over spilled milk, as it were, and then they say the fight's over, then the fight's over. But I think he's going to be taking a great deal of intent and focus into avenging that loss. And I think it's going to be exciting. Well, that I think might be it. Callum, other good fights here, but I know we have to run. But yeah, there's notable fights are going to be Brian Ortega, Diego Lopez, Lionheart Smith, and Roman Dolidze going up to light heavyweight. Mayra Buena Silva, Macy Chasson, Joe Pyfer, Marc-Andre Barrio. I really like Joe Pyfer in that one. I'm just not a big fan of the Canadian. Yeah, he's a tough guy, but Cub Swanson, Andre Touchy-Feely, Charles Air Jordan in action. Yep, against Jean Silva. Two women that I've interviewed numerous times going against each other. Michelle Waterson Gomez and Jillian Robertson should be an interesting
That should
matchup.
be a very good fight as well.
Yep, Andrei Arlovsky in the third fight of the night, low on the undercard. Unfortunate for a former champion, but it is what it is against Martin Boudet. Wow, the walkout fight. They've got Ricky Simone, who I think fought many times on main cards,
Yeah,
as the walkout, the first fight of the night. Just he's lost two fights, and now they literally make Ricky Simone the first fight of the night. And
that's
then
crazy.
it really is. They've got Ray Surya and Carlos Hernandez fighting above him. They've got two guys, Peyton Talbot and Giannis Gamori, fighting above him. They've got
I actually thought Peyton Talbot was going to be on the main card because I think they're trying to build him, and he's got a very fan friendly style.
Yeah, he does. But still, for him to be 4 spots above Ricky Simone,
Yeah,
you
it's a bit
know,
wild.
yeah, it is. But in any case, well, you guys, I will let Callum have the final wrap up. You guys can follow me, Colin Crandall 33, MMA professor, mostly active on X, but starting to try to build up some YouTube. Always love working with my bro here, Callum Sanderson. And Callum, let them know where they can find you, and then you can close it out for us.
Yeah, you can find me at Callum Sanderson on all platforms, also on YouTube on the Sanderson Show as well. And Colin, the pleasure's absolutely all mine. I'm so happy we get to start this back up again. I've missed it. And yeah, as you said, we've got some fun stuff planned for the summer.
Yes, you guys don't forget about us. Tune in. We're going to be throwing down the content and coming out with all good tips and insight. And we are MMA from London to LA. My man in London, I'm in LA. The cross pond connection, if you will, the UK USA team. And always a pleasure, Callum. And yeah, I'll let you wrap it up, bro.
Please. So, people, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Till we see you next time. Have a good one, and we'll see you after UFC 303. Take care.
Peace. Enjoy the fights.